Do you feel you got some useful information today in your...
We got plenty of useful information. Yes, we did.
Can you talk about what it's helping you do?
No, unfortunately, I can't. Go ahead.
So you've done 9 depositions this week, Jose. I mean, leaving the week, going into the weekend, I mean, you feel like you've been able to learn things that are going to help you in the course of the case? Absolutely.
We have gained a wealth of information these last several days that we did not have before. Certain insight, and we confirmed a lot of things that we suspected. So the details of which I really can't get into. I don't think it's advantageous to my clients, so I'm not really going to comment on that. But we're certain that it was extremely useful, and they'll be continuing throughout the process. We're a big, firm believer in depositions, and we think that they're a critical part to the criminal justice system, and we're going to pursue it.
Is it more critical to...
in the room with you as you go on? Do you feel like you've had to show them your hand a little bit in some of the questions that you've asked?
No, absolutely not. There's tactful ways of doing depositions, and I don't think that's the case at all.
After looking over some notes,
let's grab a microphone here.
You're being silly here. Do you agree that the forensic evidence is probably the most important stuff when you really get down to that, depositions concerning that evidence?
Yes, and let me tell you why we have not taken their depositions yet. And that is because we don't have all of the forensic evidence back yet. So it wouldn't be advantageous for us to take them early on. We want to wait until we have all the information, so that way we can ask intelligent questions and know exactly which direction the evidence takes us. So that's why it's very critical that we have the evidence back before we can actually take these depositions.
And isn't that evidence really the critical evidence in this case, what it's going to come down to?
No, I think all of the evidence is important. Basically sorting through what's actual evidence, what's admissible, what's not admissible, what type of pretrial motions we want to file, and just gaining insight to what actually happened. So while the forensic evidence is paramount, it's very important, it's not everything. This case will boil down to a lot of different factors. I don't think forensics is the only aspect of it.
We looked back through some of the discovery today, and I'm wondering if you take issue with that. It looks like this Wilder McBride took the 911 call from Roy Crunk on August 12th. The tip was then given to Detective Gerald White. He goes upstairs, talks to allegedly Yuri Melich. He's like, we already searched that area, signs off on it, and that seems to be the end of that. Then they find Kaylee in the same area. They have a 3-minute conversation with him on the day that her remains are ID'd, and that's the end of it. I mean, is that kosher with you?
Are you looking for a job or what? No, I'll tell you, that's obvious. I think the facts as you laid them out are quite obvious, and we want to get down to why law enforcement behaved in the way they did and why this case was investigated that way, and in hopes that if a more thorough job had been done specifically with those, we believe that there could have been something that might have helped exonerate our clients. So it's not necessarily about bashing the investigation. It's also what could have helped us in our case, and that's very important to us, and that's why we hold police standards to a professional standard, because I think that's what we all expect.
But if they were held accountable,
I'm sorry?
Do you think they were out to get Casey? They'd already made up their mind at that point that she was guilty?
You're going to hear our position in court. I don't want to try it out. I'm trying my best to speak to the media, to give you guys something, but I certainly can't give you different aspects of the case that I think should play out in court.
How do you get it?
Not next week, but shortly thereafter.
How do you get around some of the other forensic? I know you're saying that's not the only evidence, but there is other evidence from a botanist that says the plant growth, and we haven't gotten gross with this on the air, but the plant growth through the remains shows at least August, maybe June. How do you get around those things, which will, I guess, bolster their argument that she was there at that time, even if Deputy Kane didn't do a thorough search of the area?
Well, first of all, that is an aspect of that we're going to try out in court. But we have our own botanist, and we have also looked at the botanist reports, and we're going to address those in court, and we're confident we're going to be able to do that.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.